Dutch colonists established New York City in 1624. Its initial name was New Amsterdam. When the property was given to the Duke of York, the brother of King Charles II of England, the name was changed to New York in 1664. Millions of immigrants were welcomed in New York City in the late 19th and early 20th century. They entered the country via Ellis Island and settled in New York or other regions. Visiting Ellis Island and touring the tenement buildings, which are now historical treasures, is one of the top things to do in New York City. The 5 boroughs that make up New York City are Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island. This is the most populated city in the USA, with a population of approximately 9 million. One of the cities with the widest range of cultures is New York City, the greatest foreign-born population of any city in the world. More than 3 million people in New York City were born outside of the United States. The New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ are located in this city, which makes it a hub for international diplomacy and finance. It also houses the UN headquarters. Last but not least, New York City is home to some of the most well-known sites in the world, including the Statue of Liberty, Central Park, and the Empire State Building. Consequently, it is one of the biggest, most powerful cities in the world. With its extensive history, illustrious landmarks, museums, theatres, and ever-changing skyline, travellers have a ton to see and do. The top things to do in New York City are listed below. On your first visit, or even your second and third, don't expect to see them all. Try, but keep an eye out for the bucket list. Number 1. The Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. A must-see if you've never been to New York City is the Statue of Liberty. In the latter half of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th centuries, millions of immigrants were welcomed by this copper statue, which France gave to the United States in 1886. It is located on Liberty Island. Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi created the Statue of Liberty, and Gustave Eiffel constructed the metal framework. Roman goddess of liberty, Libertas, is shown in the statue. The US Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776, and she is holding the tabula ansata from that day in her left hand. You have the option of visiting Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty separately or jointly as a round-trip tour from Manhattan. You can ascend the Statue of Liberty's base on Liberty Island or all the way to the top. It is necessary to get tickets in advance for both of these choices because they do tend to sell out. Between 1905 and 1954, over 12 million immigrants were processed at Ellis Island, which served as an immigration inspection station. Battery Park is connected by ferry to Ellis Island, Liberty Island, and the Statue of Liberty in Manhattan. It takes roughly 4 hours to get from Battery Park to Liberty Island, Ellis Island, and back to Battery Park. From Battery Park, a ferry will take you to Liberty Island. Number 2. Empire State Building. The Empire State Building held this title until the World Trade Center was completed in 1970. It is recognized as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world and was built in 1931. The Empire State Building draws tourists and has been in a lot of motion pictures. The list is extensive, but the most well-liked movies are Superman 2, King Kong, An Affair to Remember, Elf, and Sleepless in Seattle. The Empire State Building offers more than simply a fantastic city vista. Additionally, you will be visiting a historical site and one of the most well-known structures in the entire globe. The outdoor observation deck is located on the 86th story of the Empire State Building, and the inside observation deck is located on the 102nd floor. The 86th level observation deck is included with every ticket. The choice to pay more for the 102nd floor is yours to make. Additionally, you can buy specialized tickets to visit the Empire State Building at dusk, dawn, or both. Number 3. Central Park. The nicest thing to do in New York City is to take a stroll through Central Park. It is a lovely area to unwind after strolling through the hectic downtown streets and is free to visit. One of the most popular tourist destinations worldwide is Central Park, as one of the most often used filming sites worldwide. A horse-drawn carriage trip is a pretty touristic option, but you can also just meander through the park on your own 2 feet, rent bikes, and cycle round it a few times. Just outside the park, there are many locations to rent bikes. One block south of the park, between 5th and 6th Avenue, is where we have the most success. Additionally, you can reserve a bike here, spend some time in the sun on the Great Lawn in Central Park, wander along the Central Park Mall to Bethesda Terrace, and stop by the Strawberry Fields Memorial, which honors John Lennon. Children will enjoy visiting the Central Park Zoo, the park's 21 playgrounds, and taking a spin on the carousel in Central Park. Additionally, the Loeb Boathouse and Tavern on the Green also provide food. Advanced reservations are recommended. Number 4. Fifth Avenue. One of the most expensive retail avenues in the world is Fifth Avenue. It travels from Greenwich Village's Washington Square Park to Harlem. Millionaires Row refers to the area between 59th and 96th Streets, since so many mansions were built there in the early 20th century. Due to the high concentration of museums in this area, the area between 82nd and 110th Streets is known as Museum Mile. Saks Fifth Avenue, Bergdorf Goodman, the New York Public Library, the Guggenheim Museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Frick Collection, the Plaza Hotel, Rockefeller Center, the St. Regis New York, and St. Patrick's Cathedral are just a few of the well-known structures and landmarks that can be found on Fifth Avenue. Additionally, Fifth Avenue follows Central Park's eastern border. Number 5. Rockefeller Center. The Rockefeller family commissioned a group of 19 buildings, 14 of which are Art Deco structures, that make up Rockefeller Center. Between 5th Avenue and 6th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan is where you'll find this complex. This area is home to Radio City Music Hall, the Atlas and Prometheus Monuments, Rockefeller Plaza, the Rockefeller Christmas Tree, and the Today Show Studios. In Rockefeller Center, there is an observation deck called the Top of the Rock. It provides breathtaking views of Midtown Manhattan and Central Park. Number 6. Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is at the top of the list of things to do in New York City for art enthusiasts. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is the biggest art museum in the country. Its size is measured in acres. 13 acres of top-notch art displays. The permanent collection has more than 2 million pieces of artwork, including pieces from ancient Egypt, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Oceania. A lot of art shows are also available, and they vary frequently. A different museum with a focus on medieval art is the Met Cloisters. A significant sponsor was John D. Rockefeller. Northern Manhattan's Fort Tryon Park is home to the Met Cloisters. Number 7. St. Patrick's Cathedral. In Midtown Manhattan, on Fifth Avenue, sits the Catholic cathedral known as St. Patrick's Cathedral. It is situated across from Rockefeller Center. Building work started in 1858 and was finished in 1878. There was a pause in construction during the Civil War. The National Register of Historic Places now recognizes it. You can go on a tour, attend services, or just observe the cathedral from the outside. The underground catacombs can also be explored by candlelight. Number 8. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. Impressionist, post-impressionist, early modern, and contemporary art are all included in this art gallery, popularly known as the Guggenheim. The structure, which Frank Lloyd Wright created, is also a piece of contemporary art. Giuseppe Momo's stairway in the Vatican Museums influenced Wright's design for the ramp and atrium. The structure is currently recognized as a New York City landmark, a National Historic Landmark, and a component of the UNESCO World Heritage List. On certain Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m, you can enter the museum for anything you wish, cash only. $10 is the suggested donation. Additionally, tickets may be bought on the official website. Number 9. Times Square. One of the most well-known junctions in the world is Times Square. The intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue draws 50 million visitors a year, making it one of the most well-liked tourist destinations in the entire globe. This is the most well-known spot in the world to ring in the new year, since millions of people congregate here every New Year's Eve to witness the ball drop. Times Square is almost as crowded as the other 364 days of the year, when street performers put on performances and tourists from all over the world marvel at the millions of lights that adorn the neon billboards. Times Square appears to be evolving constantly. Each and every year there are more and more changes seen on the billboards. It seems as if they are subjected to a constant nature of the change to which they have to adhere as the world progresses to a new and better era of technology. Number 10. Visit Hudson Yards. Manhattan's newest ultra-modern neighborhood has sprung out of what was previously a storage yard and disorganized network of railroad tracks. On a cutting-edge platform that is elevated over the railroad tracks, this miniature city was constructed. This area is home to glass-plated buildings, a mall, a performing arts center, a number of eateries, the Vessel and the Edge. A fantastic restaurant with a variety of dining options, a wine bar and a cocktail bar is called Mercado Little Spain. It's a nice place to enjoy a bottle of wine while eating tapas. Both Milos Wine Bar and Bluestone Lane are good places to eat breakfast. Make a reservation at Peak Restaurant and Bar at the Edge if you want to eat supper while enjoying a view. We have tried our best to give you a guide as to the top 10 things to do in the greatest city on earth, New York. Do leave a comment as to which place is your favorite in New York.